sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort as in joint pain. So be going for as long as you can. If you need to stop and stretch, stop and stretch, stop and rest whenever you need to. Use your props, a ball or a cushion, and then a strap or a band to assist with, especially with the legs. If you're seated, trying to find that nice lifted seated position. So see if I can create space at the front so that I can allow the diaphragm to descend down towards the abdomen and create a nice relaxed breath. So I'm not forcing the breath into the chest. If you're lying down, using the mat to support to the body, allowing the arms to come down the side, turn the palms to face to the ceiling, encouraging the shoulders to open, the collarbones to lengthen, the legs to relax. And then see if I can start guiding the breath down into the belly. So instead of feeling the top of the chest expanding, the neck tensing, the collarbones stiffening up, or see if I can soften everything at the front and direct the breath down into the belly. So it's a nice soft breath. I'm not forcing, I'm not tightening and gripping. I'm just trying to use the breath to help me relax. And at the same time, running a quick scan over the body. So as usual, if I'm lying down, trying to compare the right with the left side of the body, the position of the right and the left arm, position of the right and the left leg, the position of the head. If I'm seated, again, noticing if the head is maybe slightly to one side, I feel one shoulder is slightly higher than the other. I can feel more pressure on one side than the other side. I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. Then as I feel the breath is a little bit calmer, it's a little bit more relaxed, then I'm going to start working through the neck. I'm going to start off with a little rotation. So keeping the shoulders nice and still, I'm going to turn the head to look over the right, ease my head back to the center, and then I'm going to turn to look over the left. So comparing right and left side, you can feel one side is a little bit tighter. I'm not forcing anything, so nothing seems to be pinching or catching in a bad way. The more I move the head, the easier it gets. So as I start feeling the movement a little bit easier, it's a little bit smoother, I'm going to try and encourage a little bit of a stretch. So I'm going to turn to look over the right shoulder and then placing the right hand onto the side of the cheek or the side of the jaw. I'm just going to apply a gentle pressure to encourage the head to turn just a little bit more. And then I'm just going to hold that gentle pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm just going to ease the head all the way back to the middle. I'm going to turn to look over the left shoulder and then left hand to the side of the cheek. Gentle pressure to encourage the head to turn a little bit more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back to the middle. I'm relaxing the neck. I'm going to test the position, test the rotation just a couple of times. I'm going to turn to the right. Hopefully it feels a little bit easier. Turn to the left. Same that way. And then coming back to the center. From rotation, I'm going to go into lateral flexion. So I'm going to start bringing the right ear down to the right shoulder. So I'm going to move sideways. Coming back to the middle, and then left ear to the left shoulder. And then back to the middle. I should be able to feel a gentle stretch on the opposite side of the neck. There's a gentle stretch that comes from the base of the ear and goes down towards the top of the shoulder. Same as I did for the rotation. I'm not forcing anything. Just see if I can try and relax from side to side. If you're lying down on the back, you might want to maybe support the head. So I'm just going to scoop my hands behind the head to encourage the head to move. Just making sure that the shoulders are not moving. So I'm not trying to move through the thoracic. I'm just trying to move through the cervical spine. So it's just the neck. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to move the head to the right, as the right ear to the right shoulder. And then same as I did for the rotation, I'm going to encourage a little bit more stretch. With my right hand, I'm going to hook onto that left side of the head. With my left arm, I'm going to reach down along the side of the body, and then with the hand, I'm just going to pull gently the opposite way. So creating a gentle traction down the side of the neck. So if I'm seated, exactly the same. So right ear to the right shoulder, I'm going to wrap the hand around the side of the head, gently pulling away, and then with the left arm, I'm going to reach down the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ease the tension and then gradually return the head back to the middle. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, I'm going to try the same thing the other way. So left ear to the left shoulder. I'm going to hook the left hand around the side of the head. Right arm reaches down the side and then creating a little traction as if I was trying to pull them apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the traction, returning the head back to the middle. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then I'm going to retest the rotation, same as I did at the beginning. So I'm going to turn to look around my right shoulder, come back to center, turn to look around the left shoulder. Again, noticing if the second movement is the lateral flexion has created any difference. I might find that it feels easier. I might find that it's actually made it a little bit stiffer. I'm going to bring the head back to the center, and then I'm going to change into a little flexion extension. If I can, I'm going to reach the hands around the back of the neck. I'm going to interlock the fingers, and then locking the hands behind the neck, I'm going to pull out on the neck as if I was trying to stretch it away. So I'm just going to try and pull it to lift. If my arms can't go that far, my shoulder is maybe a bit too sore, I can use my belt or my strap. I'm just going to put it around the neck. I can take the arms a little bit wider. I can still try to encourage that traction, that little pull. So whichever it's easier. And then I'm going to take a deep breath in as I breathe out. Feel the skin at the back of the neck. See if you can keep it smooth. So making sure that it's not wrinkling, it's not curling in. And then I'm going to try and tip the head up. So I'm going to try and look up. And then I'm going to try and tip the head, the back, into extension. And then I'm just going to ease forward. I'm going to pull my chin down towards my chest. I'm going to try and stretch into the upper back, coming forward into flexion. And then I'm going to lift again, and then go into extension. So whether you're sitting or lying down, think of exactly the same. So I'm going to try and lengthen through. And then I'm just going to try and lift and curl. Lengthen through. And then lift and curl. 3 more times. So extension. Into flexion. Extension. Into flexion. Last one. And releasing back, or releasing the head, giving the head a gentle roll, resetting the shoulders, and then same as I've been doing so far, I'm going to retest my rotation. So I'm going to turn the head to look over the right, bring back to the middle, turn it to the left, back to the middle, and then again, see if the little release for the neck and upper back has created any difference into the movement. So hopefully it feels a little bit easier. I'm going to return the head back to the middle and then just keep it centered. I'm going to start coming down towards the shoulder girdle and the upper back more. I'm going to start with them. Rotator cuffs. I'm going to tuck the elbows into the side of the body. So imagine your arm, so just the top of the arm, glue to the side. So I'm going to glue the arms into the side of the body. I'm going to bend the elbows and turn the palms to face towards me. So if you're seated as if you're holding a tray. And then from here, I'm just going to start externally rotating the arms. So I'm going to turn them out and then I'm going to bring them back. As you turn the arms, if there is any restriction in the shoulder, you will notice that the elbows tend to slip back. So my arm is not glued to the side anymore. It's slightly glued to the back, or it's slight slipping to the back. Let's see if I can try and keep it glued to the side. The other problem is the arm lifting away. So I'm ungluing it, I'm pulling it off. So see if you can stick it to the side and then keep it there. However small the movement feels, it doesn't matter. The same as you did for the neck, it's just comparing right and left to side. So I might find that my right side opens up well, my left side feels quite stiff or very different. I'm going to focus on that side to see if I can try and balance the movement a little bit more. If I'm down on the mat, with the corner of the eye, I'm just going to try and look at the hands and then how far the hands are moving. Dropping the shoulders away from the head, the neck is long, there is no tension into the neck. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the arms, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. It's a little bit more movement and deep into the shoulder joint as the rotator cuffs are starting going. I'm going to try and see if I can just work a little bit in reverse, so trying to release into the back of the shoulder. I'm going to raise the right arm up to the ceiling. If I'm lying down, if you're sitting, you'll be stretching the arm in front of you. With the left hand, I'm going to grab a hold of the right arm, and then I'm just going to pull it across the front of the chest. See if you can think of pulling it across the chest until you can feel the stretch, wrapping around the right shoulder, going into the back of the shoulder. Now, as you're holding the arm close to the chest, notice the right shoulder. Can you make sure that the right shoulder has not moved up to your right ear? So can I make sure that my right shoulder is still down, so the neck is still long and loose? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the stretch. I'm going to try the other side. So the other arm comes in front. I'm going to pull it gently towards me until I can feel the stretch wrapping around the shoulder into the back. And then I'm just going to hold it there, making sure that the shoulder is down so the neck doesn't feel tight. I can still move my head around easily. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So it's a little bit more movement around the shoulder girdle. excuse me. I'm going to try and focus a little bit more into the upper back of these thumbs. So this time I'm going to start adding some rotation. I'm going to reach the right hand under the left armpit. And then the left hand is going to go over the right shoulder. So I'm going to give myself a little hug. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then as I breathe out, I'm going to turn the body to the right, the head to the left. I'm going to ease back to the middle, and then I'm going to turn the body to the left, the head to the right. And then back to the middle, and then to the other side. So body and head going in opposite directions. So think of the whole of the spine, from your neck down to your thoracic, that is kind of like twisting around from the top to the bottom. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just trying to relax as much as possible, as much as I can. So turning one side, easing back to center, rocking the other way, easing back to center, looking over the left shoulder, turning to the right, looking around the right shoulder, turning to the left. As I feel the movement starts feeling a little bit easier, a little bit looser, I'm going to hold this. So I'm going to turn the body to the right, the head to the left. I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to take 6 breaths here, 3 into the mouth, and then 3 into the nose. So I'm going to take a deep breath in through the mouth. 1, 2. If you can turn a little bit more, 3. 3 into the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to ease back to the middle. I'm going to turn the body to the left, the head to the right. And then 3 deep breaths through the mouth. 1, 2. Turning a little bit more. 3. 3 into the nose. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to ease back to center. I'm going to release the arms, keep the shoulders a little bit overboard, and then I'm going to switch the arms around. So the left hand goes under the right armpit, the right hand goes over that left shoulder, and then maintaining that nice gentle hug. I'm just going to start turning from side to side. So I'm going to turn the body to the right, the head to the left, turn the body to the left, the head to the right, one side and the other. So same as I did before, the back should be warm to the movement, so it shouldn't be feeling as stiff as it was before. So I can rock a little bit more easily side to side. And then as I feel the movement, it feels loose, it feels easy enough, then I'm going to hold and focus on the breath. So I'm going to turn the body to the right, the head to the left, and then I'm going to take 3 deep breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. 3 through the nose, turning a little bit deeper. 1, 2, 3. I'm winding back to the middle, body to the left, head to the right. 3 deep breaths through the mouth. 1, 2, Turning a little bit more. 3. 3 into the nose. 1. 2. 3. And then easing back to the center. Releasing the arms and relaxing the shoulders. So there's a little bit more movement into the thoracic spine. I'm going to start coming down into the lumbar. So I'm going to start off with a little flexion extension. So I'm going to go into a little pelvic tilt. So feel the lower back. What I want is to flatten the lower back, or if possible, I'm going to try and curve it the opposite way. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to roll back onto my seat bones, and then creating a gentle tension at the front of the belly. Imagine to be tightening that corset or zipping up a tight pair of trousers. I'm going to try and round the lower back. Then I'm going to come forward onto the seat bones and then see if I can try and bring back that curve. So I'm going to try and flatten it, and then I'm going to try and bring it back. I'm going to flatten it and then bring it back. It's a nice and gentle rocking, just mobilizing down the bottom of the spine. If you're laying down, even easier as you've got the mat to guide you. So as you tilt the pelvis back, you can feel the lower back dropping down into the mat. As I go back into neutral, I can feel it lifting slightly away. So I'm going to tilt and then release the tilt. Tilt and release the tilt. So as if you were just gently massaging the back of the pelvis and the lower back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, adjusting the hips, and then from tilting the pelvis forward and back, I'm going to go for a little side to side. So I'm going to go for a little hip hitch. So I'm going to try and pull my left hip towards the left side of the rib cage, hitching up on the left, and then right to the right. So if you're lying down, the pelvis is flat against the mat, but it's just gently sliding from side to side. You should be able to feel the side of the belly tense and the obliques are working to create that little movement. If you're seated, as usual, imagine to be walking your seat bones up and down from the chest. So I'm going to try and pull up on my right, ease back, pull up on my left, ease back, pull up on my right, pull up on my left. So the tension is still onto the side of the belly. I might want to use the arms onto the bottom of the chair to offer a little support, a little guidance, a little direction as I'm rocking from one to the other side. See if you can relax the neck, so making sure that the tension is not climbing up into the arms and then ending up into your neck, into your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, adjusting the hips so lower back hopefully feels a little bit looser, a little bit more mobile. I'm going to start focusing on the hips. I'm going to place the ball between the knees, or the cushion between the knees, and then maybe shuffling the feet a little bit closer together. I'm going to start pressing into the cushion, pressing into the ball. So imagine to be popping the ball. So I'm going to squeeze into it as hard as I can. And then I'm just going to release the pressure. I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can. And release the pressure. Now keep the squeeze going. As usual, guiding the legs in into the ball. If you feel that the leg is a bit temperamental, so it's not going where I want it to go, notice the tension into the inner thigh. And at the same time, this time, see if you can bring your awareness to your pelvic floor. As usual, men and women, no difference. So think of your front passage. Imagine to be pulling everything up towards the inside of the body. So I'm going to press into the ball, and then I'm going to try and draw up, and then I'm just going to release. Then again, I'm going to press into the ball, trying to draw up, and then release. So see if I can find a connection to those deep muscles, and then I'm going to release again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one, I'm going to hold the squeeze. So I'm going to keep the tension for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the legs, releasing the inner thigh, relaxing the hip. I'm going to work in reverse. I'm going to try and work the side of the leg. So if you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto your side. So you'll be working in climb. If you're seated, you need resistance. So I'm just going to put my band or my strap around the legs, not too tight. I can put a little knot or a little bow to hold it in place, or I can hold it with the hands. And then I'm just going to start moving one leg. So with my right leg, I'm going to try and push out into the strap. And then I'm just going to relax. Repeating on that right side, I'm going to push out and relax. Using the hand again to guide me if I need to. If you're on your side, making sure that the knees are bent, the legs are nice and close together. I'm going to keep the feet together, and then what I want is for the top leg to start rotating and lifting away. So think of your thigh bone turning out and lifting at the same time. Making sure that the hips are not rolling backwards, just to see if I can think of the tension coming from the side of my hip, the side of my bum, the side of my leg, as the leg is moving up and down. The back is relaxed, the chest is relaxed. It doesn't matter how big or small the movement is. If I need a rest, I will take the rest. If I can keep it going, I'm going to keep it going. 3 more times. So I'm going to open out, and then I'm going to ease back. 2, and back. Last one, we're going to hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring the hip a little tap, relaxing the side of the hip to the side of the leg. I'm going to repeat the same thing to the left side, to the other side. So if you're lying down, rolling over the other side, setting the same position. If you're seated, keeping the band around the knees, and then I'm going to focus on the other leg. So I'm going to try and push out with that leg, and then I'm just going to ease back. Encouraging the leg, using the hand, just to kind of like telling the leg where I want it to move, and then see if I can try and get a little bit more movement going. So same as on the other side, see if you can direct the tension into the side of the hip, into the side of the leg. As I'm lying down, again, making sure that the pelvis is not rolling backwards, so it's not my hips are turning, is the leg moving into the hip socket. I can feel again the thigh bone turning out and lifting up at the same time. 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to hold that lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the side of the hip, but relaxing the leg. I'm going to undo the band, pushing the band to one side. If I'm laying down on the back, I'm going to roll. If I'm laying down on the mat, I'm going to roll over onto the back again. Changing the direction of the movement. Again, this time I'm going to go into a knee lift. So think of the front of the hip and the front of the belly working together. I'm going to start peeling away the right foot from the mat. And then I'm going to place it back down. I'm going to peel it away. And then I'm going to ease it back down. Whether I'm laying down or seated, I'm going to move the right leg. If the leg, again, is a bit temperamental, I'm just going to use the strap behind the leg, or the hands behind the leg, to guide the leg into the lift. And then I'm just going to ease it back. And then same as you've been doing so far, just focus on the hip joint. What I want is the tension to be at the front of the hip. So I want the hip flexor to tighten up and to pull the thigh up towards me. And then I'm just going to ease it back down. And then the foot might lift off the ground. I might not be able to lift it off. It doesn't matter, just to see if I can get the little twitching, that little going into the hip muscles. 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the hip or releasing the leg. I'm going to repeat the same thing to the left side or to the other side. So if I need a little support, I'm going to place the band around the back of the leg, and then I'm going to get the left foot to lift away, and then coming back down. So I'm going to pull it away, and then ease back. Pull it away, and then ease back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, giving the leg a little shake, relaxing the front of the hip, relaxing the front of the belly. And then I'm just going to grab hold of the ball again, or the pillow. Going back into the shoulders, into the arms. I'm going to press the ball, I'm going to tag the ball under the right arm, between the right arm and the right side of the ribcage, so it's there. And then same as you did at the beginning for your dumb waiter, I'm going to keep the elbow bent, the palm I'm going to turn it towards me again. And then this time, instead of turning the arm, I'm going to squeeze the arm. So what I want is to press the arm into the ball, squeeze it between the arm and the rib cage. And then I'm just going to ease back. Now, as you squeeze the ball, see if you can think of the elbow reaching away from the shoulder. So I don't want my shoulder to pop up, I want the shoulder to go down. And then I'm just going to ease that pressure. I'm going to squeeze and release. And then as you keep the squeeze going, if you play with the position of the ball slightly, if I let the ball roll ever so slightly forward and I squeeze, I can feel it in my chest. If I let the ball roll back slightly and squeeze, I can feel it at the back of the shoulder. See if you can try and find that halfway point where you feel the back of the shoulder and the front of the chest that working together. So one is not taking over the other. They're both working in sync. 50% of the front, 50% of the back as I'm squeezing into the ball. 3, 2, last one, I'm going to hold that pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze a little bit harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm, switch the ball on the left side, so tucking it between the left arm and the left side of the rib cage, or the other side if you've already done the left. I'm going to bend the elbow, turn the palm to face towards me, and then same as I did before, I'm just going to start squeezing into the ball. Exactly the same as I did on the other side. See if you can think of the elbow reaching away from the shoulder. So making sure that that shoulder is dropping away from the head. It's not coming up into the head. And then same as I did on the other side. If I roll the ball ever so slightly forward and squeeze, I can feel it on my chest. If I roll it back and squeeze, I can feel it in the back of my shoulder. So can I find that midway point where front and back are working the same amount? 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze a little bit harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Giving the shoulder a little bit of a roll, pushing the ball to the side. We'll see if I can start moving the arms. I'm going to try one arm at a time. I'm going to raise it up to the front. I'm going to take it as far up as I can. If you're laying down, as far back as you can. Returning that right arm, and then I'm going to move the left, returning one, and then taking out the other. See if you can find a nice smooth movement. It's allowing the arms to maybe open up a little bit wider if you need to, making sure that nothing is catching or grinding in the shoulder. And then since I'm moving one arm at a time, it doesn't matter if one arm can move a lot and the other arm can only move a little. I'm going to do what I can with my right, and then I'm going to do what I can with my left arm. 3, 2, 1. Now try both arms together. If one shoulder felt stiffer than the other, so if one arm wasn't moving as well as the other, follow that arm. So make the movement smaller on both arms to make sure that there is no pain in the shoulders. Notice the neck. Can I keep the neck relaxed? So especially if I'm seated, can I make sure that as my arms come up, my head doesn't start poking forward, so my neck is not tightening up. See if I can keep the head on top of the shoulders. See if I can keep the neck nice and loose. 3, 2, last one, and releasing down, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders and the upper back. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the side and slowly pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So leaning against the wall, sofa, something stable that is not going to slide away, or keeping your hands by the side to offer a little support. Finding the sequence to see if I can lift myself up onto the sequence. And then same as we did at the beginning, think of creating space at the front of the body, not just at the front of the belly, but along all of the front of the body and the front of the neck. So I'm going to start lifting the chest forward and up, as if I was trying to pull away from the pubic and lift away from the pubic. I'm going to let the shoulders roll back and down. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look back. And then I'm going to release. Reversing it, I'm going to tuck the chin to the chest. I'm going to roll the shoulders forward, coming as far as I feel comfortable. And then back up in reverse. Extending up, lifting the chest up a little bit higher, shoulders back, and drop them down. Looking forward, looking up, looking back. And releasing, coming forward. Again, rolling down. And curling back up. Extending, lifting as far as you can. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back.